Narcissists often give off the impression that they can't be beat. Charming, sure of themselves, and in charge. But this carefully crafted image hides a weak sense of self-worth that is ready to fall apart when their web of lies starts to fall apart. How does it feel when a narcissist's mask really starts to fall? You might be surprised by the answer because the things they do after they fall apart are often crazy, illogical, and just plain stupid. We're going to talk about the strange and illogical things narcissists do when things go wrong in their lives in this movie. If you've ever thought why narcissists act the way they do when they know what they did is wrong, keep reading. What you're about to hear will make everything clearer. Please click the like button, subscribe, and share this movie with anyone who might need to see it. Allow us to begin. It's important to know that narcissists depend on their overblown sense of self-worth and their power to control other people. When their carefully managed image is in danger, they may act in ways that don't make sense. Right now, let's look at 8 pointless things narcissists do when they've really lost it. 1. Putting on a victim act when they're clearly the aggressor. When a narcissist's carefully made world starts to fall apart, one of the most annoying and predictable things they do is start playing the victim right away. Even though they are the ones who caused all the trouble and damage, they are able to spin the story so that the blame lies with other people, especially those who have been hurt by them. It's almost like they're telling themselves that by acting like harmless victims, they can get out of being responsible for what they did. Sometimes they'll say that life is unfair, or that everyone is out to get them, even if it was their own bad choices that killed them. This twisted sense of unfairness is especially annoying because it makes the real harm they've done seem less important and tricks people around them into doubting how they see things. When someone tries to get pity for someone who doesn't deserve it, they use a very frustrating and perplexing tactic that many people have trouble understanding. Overstating their pain to the point of foolishness is common for narcissists. They will say big things about how their life is falling apart and how unfair things are happening to them. People who do this try to get others to feel sorry for them and agree with their story by making themselves seem like a hero or a victim of bad luck. Their main goal is to escape taking responsibility for their actions and to put the blame on someone else, while making others believe that they are the ones who have been wronged. This type of manipulation works best on people who are sympathetic or don't know what kind of person the narcissist really is, because it plays on our natural desire to protect the victim and make things right when we think they are wrong. But people who are smart enough to see through this trick know it for what it is, a planned, dishonest attempt to avoid responsibility. 2. Denial of the fall. A narcissist's answer to their world falling apart is to deny it in a way that is almost delusional. The narcissist will often refuse to accept what is happening, even if it's clear that they have failed. This could be the end of a relationship, a big drop in status, or a total loss of money. They will ignore reality in favor of a story they made up where they still have power over everything. When everything seems to be going wrong, they will keep saying things like this is just a minor setback, or I'm just going through a rough patch. They may keep saying there is no reason to worry, even as their whole world falls apart around them. This refusal to recognize the collapse isn't just a short-term way for narcissists to deal with things. It's a deeply ingrained defense mechanism they use to keep their fragile egos from being broken by the harsh truths of their situation. They think that admitting failure would mean saying they are not good enough, which they can't stand to do. Their whole sense of self-worth comes from the illusion that they are better and in charge, and admitting they were wrong would directly threaten this fantasy. Because of this, they hold on to denial as a way to keep up the front they've spent years building. This kind of behavior can be very annoying for those around the narcissist, especially when they refuse to face truth and cause even more harm. When someone refuses to accept the truth for a long time, it gets harder for them and others to deal with the effects of their actions. They may not want to take responsibility, which can cause more problems and keep everyone stuck in a loop of denying and avoiding responsibility. 3. Putting their own mistakes on other people. As their world continues to fall apart, Narcissists often use projection, which is both annoying and frustrating. As an alternative to taking responsibility for their mistakes, they will try to put the blame on others by blaming them of the same things they did wrong. People who have lied, cheated, or manipulated will suddenly accuse those around them of lying or manipulating, not caring about what part they played in the situation. One of the most annoying things about narcissists is how they suddenly and ridiculously shift the blame. This makes other people defend themselves against false charges, which is unfair. Not only is it a way for them to dodge responsibility, but it also helps them keep up the illusion that they are better than everyone else. The narcissist needs to blame others for their flaws because they can't face their own. Instead of owning up to their mistakes and changing how they act, they would rather blame others and make them feel bad for things they didn't do. This strategy helps them keep their egos by taking attention away from their own mistakes and placing it on those around them. They are desperately trying to keep up the appearance of being in charge and better than everyone else, even though there is a lot of evidence that they are not good at what they are doing. People close to the narcissist are more likely to be hurt by this behavior because it often leads to emotional trickery, confusion, and self-doubt. For people who have been hurt by a narcissist's actions, their need to avoid taking responsibility is a constant source of anger and frustration. 4. Attempts to get back in control. When a narcissist's world starts to fall apart, they lose control and will often do anything to get it back. These efforts to get back in charge are often dangerous, irrational, and go too far. The narcissist may stalk, harass, or cause chaos to regain control of the situation. They think that by making things more difficult, they can get things to return to the way they like them. They might even try to get their family, friends, or co-workers to support them by involving them in a situation that has nothing to do with them. This crazy attempt to get back in charge usually backfires because it shows how weak the narcissist is and makes things even worse after they leave. They act in strange ways a lot of the time because they are trying to regain power and influence. Some of the risky things they might do are emotional bullying, spreading lies, or trying to split people up to make people feel unstable. The narcissist acts this way because they are so afraid of losing power, which for them means losing their identity and sense of being better than others. The more their world falls apart, the harder they will work to hold on to any power they can, even if it means hurting the people around them. The narcissist is willing to do anything, often hurting themselves and others in the process, to keep up the appearance of power and control, even if it means acting wildly and strangely. This shows how weak their hold on reality really is. 5. Self-harm as a way to get attention. Narcissists can use self-sabotage as a way to get attention when they know they are going to fail. This is both interesting and annoying. Instead of facing the fact that they have failed, they do bad things and often make careless choices that hurt themselves and those around them. These actions can include spending too much money, being in bad relationships, or making bad job choices. This self-destructive behavior isn't because they really want to ruin their lives. It's because they need attention so badly. People who are narcissists need to feel like they are important. If they can't get the attention they want, they may act out in more and more damaging ways, hoping that someone will see them and rush to save them. They believe that any attention is better than none at all, even bad attention. If their angry outbursts or careless actions don't get the reaction they want, they may escalate their behavior, pushing the limits of what's normal in the hopes that someone will step in and stop them. When a narcissist desperately wants to get attention, they may act out emotionally, throwing tantrums in which they do everything they can to get it back, even if it means fighting with people around them. Goals aren't always clear-cut. Sometimes the only thing that matters is being the center of attention again, whether that attention is good or bad. Narcissists need outside approval so much that they are willing to do anything to get it back. This cry for help that looks like self-harm shows how much they want to feel important again. 6. Changing the past. When a narcissist is falling apart, one of the strangest things they do is try to change the past. People often use revisionism to try to change how others remember them when their carefully built persona starts to fall apart. They will make up stories about their past that have nothing to do with reality, making themselves out to be victims or heroes when they were really the bad guys. This intentional misunderstanding of the past is part of their larger plan to change how other people see them. They want to be seen as innocent or even good, even though it is clear that they were the ones who did wrong. By changing the story, they hope to get people to feel sorry for them and understand them, which will help them regain their reputation as someone who deserves respect and love. The narcissist wants to be in charge of the story because they are afraid of being seen for who they really are. When their act starts to fall apart, changing history helps them keep up their inflated sense of self-worth. People think that if they change the past, they can get other people to forget, or at least forgive their mistakes. Not only is this revisionism a way for them to hide their flaws, it's also a way for them to change how other people see them. They might make up long stories to make themselves look like heroes, or put the blame for their mistakes on other people. More they change the truth, the harder they try to get people to see them the way they want to be seen, not the way they really are. 7. Using other people to get sympathy. Narcissists often use manipulation to get the sympathy and mental support they need after they have lost control. They will tell their friends, family, or even ex-partners sad stories to try to get them to feel sorry for them because they caused the problems they are now complaining about. Their life will seem unbearably hard to them, and they will see themselves as victims of their situation, even though they are the ones who made things so bad. They do this to feel like they have some control again, and to draw people back into their emotional web, where they can continue to get approval and help. Narcissists will sometimes go even further with their tricks, and use weak people as pawns in their game, like children or other family members. People who care about them may stretch the truth, or make up stories about how bad things are for them, in order to get what they want and avoid having to deal with the results of their actions. This method is especially sneaky because it takes advantage of people's kindness, making it hard for them to see that they are being influenced. The narcissist's skill at playing on people's feelings shows when they can make you feel sorry for them, even though they are the one who did something wrong. It helps them stay in charge of their relationships and escape having to deal with the consequences of their actions. 8. They want to destroy people who expose them. When someone tells the truth about a narcissist, one of the most dangerous things they can do is get back at the person who told the truth. Narcissus has a strong sense of privilege that makes them think that anyone who shows their flaws or lies must be punished. Their reaction can be harsh and mean, going so far as to hurt people's reputations, spread lies, or even go to court to silence their critics. The narcissist sees it as an existential danger and must be stopped at all costs when someone shows them for what they really are. To keep what little power and control they still have, they want to destroy anyone who tries to challenge their carefully crafted image. The narcissist acts mean because they are very afraid of being shamed in public or losing their standing. In their thoughts, anyone who shows them their flaws or the real them is not just a critic, they are a threat to their very lives. What a narcissist does is try to get rid of the threat in any way possible, even if it means hurting other people's lives. People who act in this way are very dangerous, because it shows how far the narcissist is willing to go to protect their ego. They will do anything to keep their secrets hidden, and anyone who tries to tell others about them is a target. It shows how much the narcissist wants to be in charge, and how unwilling they are to face their flaws that they look for payback. Thank you so much for watching this movie, and learning about the crazy things narcissists do when their world falls apart. For narcissists, losing control can be a strange, unpredictable, and very stressful experience. Knowing why they do these crazy things can help you deal with them. Thanks for watching. If this video spoke to you, please like, follow, and share it with other people who may be dealing with narcissists. We can build a group of support where we can help each other get through bad relationships if we work together. Always keep in mind that you are not alone, and that your peace and health are important. We'll see you in the next show. Stay strong and alert. Narcissists often give off the impression that they can't be beat. Charming, sure of themselves, and in charge. But this carefully crafted image hides a weak sense of self-worth that is ready to fall apart when their web of lies starts to fall apart. How does it feel when a narcissist's mask really starts to fall? You might be surprised by the answer because the things they do after they fall apart are often crazy, illogical, and just plain stupid. We're going to talk about the strange and illogical things narcissists do when things go wrong in their lives in this movie. If you've ever thought why narcissists act the way they do when they know what they did is wrong, keep reading. What you're about to hear will make everything clearer. Please click the like button, subscribe, and share this movie with anyone who might need to see it. Allow us to begin. It's important to know that narcissists depend on their overblown sense of self-worth and their power to control other people. When their carefully managed image is in danger, they may act in ways that don't make sense. Right now, let's look at 8 pointless things narcissists do when they've really lost it. 1. Putting on a victim act when they're clearly the aggressor. When a narcissist's carefully made world starts to fall apart, one of the most annoying and predictable things they do is start